Remember, the first thing that happened was his entire stance, his demeanor, the way that he stood changed. His jaw, I always used to notice his jaw would clench, like you could see the muscle popping out of the side of it. After this happened the first time when I saw it, I noticed it, more before. His whole demeanor changed. He looked down at the ground for a minute and his jaw was clenching. And the weirdest thing, this is the weirdest thing about it, guys. His mannerisms are so similar to my older brother's. His demeanor and his mannerisms when he reacted that way. And then later on, and I'm not the only person who's noticed this, other people have brought this up, that he looks like my brother Matt, and I don't think it has anything to do with the actual look. It has to do with their stance and the way that they move and their demeanor and facial expressions from the specific demonic presence. So it's almost everything from head to toe with him changed, and I could see the muscle pull popping out of his jaw. And he looked at me with such a rage. He'd never looked at me like that before. He'd never acted like this before. I'm sitting in this recliner and he's standing over me and takes a couple steps towards me. And these were his words. He was so livid. I was scared. Like, I'd never seen him like this before. And I'm just sitting there the whole time. The anxiety, it was so extreme, guys. The change was so extreme and so instantaneous. He said, "It's your choice whether you have night terrors about me doing that or not. I won't be painted as the abuser. I am not an abuser." And I shut down completely at that point. I never brought anything else up again. I didn't tell my psychologist how he responded. I was so floored in that moment and so taken aback in that moment. And then I remember the last words he said to me before he snapped out of it, almost like the way he changed. He goes, "Okay, how are you feeling?" He goes. And I said, I'm okay. I'm just I'm nervous. I have some anxiety, which I always did about going to these things anyway, which at this point I'm still driving myself. It's just whenever he texts me and tells me to come there, when I wasn't at work. After I told him I was nervous and anxious and that I felt bad for bringing anything up, he goes, "Well, stop being so afraid. You're undoing all of the work that I've done." Those were his exact words. "Stop being afraid. You're undoing all the work that I've done." Yeah, I shut down and then he commenced what he was doing. It was a few sessions later where the next big flag popped up, which basically brought to, oh no, I'm sorry, I missed a part of this conversation. So before the last thing he said regarding stop being afraid, I'm undoing all the work that he's done. After that, and him telling me I had control over what happened in my night terrors, and that my fear was messing up what he was doing, because later down the road he would often get very frustrated if he believed like that there was a demonic thing that wasn't leaving, and he would eventually get more angry with me and start telling me that I was the reason the demons weren't leaving, because I wasn't trusting him enough, or because I was skeptical, or because I kept, whatever it was my fault. But regarding me feeling him put his hand on my breast more than once, he told me, he said, "Danielle, the demons are making you feel that and think that. It's because you're demonically possessed. The demons are making you see it. They're making you think that I'm putting my hand places that I'm not." And that's what he told me. And as a devout Catholic, woman at that point who had been devout my whole life and wanted to do the right thing and listen to the Catholic authorities and everything like that, I believed him. I'd never been through this before, and it seemed to make logical sense to me at the time. and I hadn't been through any of the therapy enough to understand about gaslighting or, the fact that my entire life in every abuse case that ever. So I remember after those initial red flags and then after I was shut down, I know it wasn't intentionally, but my psychologist told me I was likely projecting. And then when I was shut down by Euteneuer's reaction that day, which was unlike anything I'd ever seen in him before, his character, his disposition, everything shifted so quickly, and he had never spoken to me like that. He had never talked to me like that or reacted that way. So the next weird thing that started happening pretty quickly was when they started moving to the evenings after hours, like after I got off work. Even before he started insisting on picking me up and driving me to and from every time. Before he started doing that, he would do this, and like I said, things would get more intense. Lots of times I'd end up waking up on the floor instead of the recliner. And it was just me and him for several months. And I remember the very first night. He asked me if I wanted to stay in one of the guest rooms down that one wing. I believe if you're facing where people generally go through the front, it would be the left wing. There were like these dormitory rooms or whatever for visiting guests, and I declined every single time he would ask, and he would almost get more insistent and irritated when I declined, but every single time, no matter how sick I felt, he became more and more insistent about me staying in these guest rooms. What he did to me would go on longer, and I would be more exhausted and more pain and feel sicker and be less cognitive.